Hello, everybody. What's happening? What's happening? I'm Dr. Thunder, and this is Two Dads React, and that's my collaboration with Tony from God Rules. And this show is we have we view things from a biblical perspective. We're looking at world events. We're considering a lot of the stuff that's happening in politics, with the economy. A lot of the social reengineering that's taking place, a lot of the the state stepping over its sort of its rights to try to indoctrinate our kids and talk to them about stuff that we may not want them to be talked to about as of yet. And we get our tinfoil hat out. Actually, I just put mine back under the table. I never wear it on the air. I don't know. Tony might be wearing his on the air today, but I'm not wearing mine on the air. I never wear mine on the air. I just got done taking it off, but I'm well in tune to, I don't know, space invaders and aliens and I don't know, some other stuff. Maybe some Nephilim. I don't know. It's Nephilim. What else? We're Bible thumpers. We're knuckle dragging troglodyte Bible thumpers. We actually believe that there is a God, and that seems to make the most sense out of this existence. And if that's up your alley, and you want to hear two lame-o dads talk about world events, then you are in the right place. And today's show is Dark Secrets of Hollywood, Morgan Freeman and Jim Carey edition. I don't know. There's some weird stuff. We have weird stuff every week. We could do like a weird show every day, just about some strange, these Hollywood weirdos, man. I don't know what's going on. But anyhow, folks, thanks for being here. Please like the video on the way in. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Become a channel member where you'll get access to all archive videos. Support independent media. Super chats enabled. Super thanks for the replay gang. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Dr. Thunder Music, all one word. Spell out the word doctor. If you would like to feed me a sandwich, pause. Then then hit the Cash App. But we've got a great show for you today, and we'll be talking about Morgan Freeman and Jim Carey and Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate and all kinds of stuff. We're going to be talking about all kinds of stuff. So get your tinfoil hat ready so that we may be able to directly mind melt this content to you. Yes, it's that kind of show. Let's go. Warning: some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. Wait a minute. Was it? What is it? Rose. What is it? Rose Poles. Rose Pole. What time does it start? It starts right now. It starts right now.
Was it Miami Mall aliens that got you, or
I don't know. Like I said, like when I'm away, I put the tinfoil hat on, and I started tuning in Tokyo. Man,
Tokyo.
I was tuning in Tokyo, and it was like an urgent message, and I had to listen to the rest of the message. So. I don't know. Maybe that'll be a show for next week.
All right.
Anyhow, we're having a good time. So today's show is Dark Secrets of Hollywood, Morgan Freeman and Jim Carey. Now, what kind of weird and strange dark secrets? I mean, I heard this. It's kind of a salacious rumor. I don't know. Salacious rumor. I'm not sure what it was, but I was doing some research on Morgan Freeman and his granddaughter, and I was looking for maybe an exorcism gone wrong or something, but all I found was a bunch of people making content claiming that he was having an affair with his granddaughter. So I don't know what the heck. I mean, it's TikTok, right? I mean,
yeah. Well, I heard that too in the comment section on my video. Someone said that, but we're actually going to get into a ton of stuff. We're going to get into. Actually, I'm going to get into some stuff about the solar eclipse even a little bit. But we got Andrew Tate, we got P Diddy, we got a lot of stuff, and some new stuff about the solar eclipse that no one a lot of people don't know about. We're going to get into that also. I just did a video. I'm going to put it up probably. Who knows? Soon here. Keep an eye out for it. I'm going to put it up soon, and I think tomorrow probably. But yeah, man, lots of really interesting stuff. Did you know that the city that they cross over, the two solar eclipses were 7 years apart? Guess what the city's called?
Wait a minute. Is one of them called Salem?
No, well, there is some Salems. That was from I think the October 2023. A lot of Salems were crossed through with that one.
Okay.
And then the one that's coming up have a number of Ninevehs. But there's there's actually a number of Ninevehs right at the cross point too. But there's actually a city called Rapture, Indiana, right where the two solar eclipses. No joke, dude. I'm not joking. I'm serious. I can even show it, man. It's crazy.
All right. Well, I got to see this.
And I think there's only one Rapture, Indiana, and one Rapture. Yeah, I got it around here somewhere. Let's see, where is it?
Hey, wait a minute. Am I going to have to for this? Am I going to have to like? Should I like put my tinfoil hat on for this one?
No, this is real. I'm trying to remember which one it is. Yeah.
Wait a minute. What are you trying to say? Are you trying to say that the stuff that I tuned into with my tinfoil hat is not real?
It's showing right there. I'm showing it already. Right there. Rapture, Indiana is right in the center. You see that? Can you read that?
Yeah, I see.
I'll show you. I'll show you with my mouse. It's this one.
I see it. No, but it's not perfectly. No, but it's not perfectly in the middle though.
Well, also you got Noah's Ark.
Perfectly in the middle.
Ken Ham's Noah's Ark's right in the center too. It's like saying, "Repent, or there will be a flood on America." Right? It could be that, or it could be there's going to be a rapture, or it could be God's going to take over America, and because it says in Micah 5 that. The King of Kings will rule. The one born in Bethlehem will rule over the cities of Nimrod, and Nimrod's city is Nineveh. So is he going to rule over America? You got an Alpha here, Alpha and Omega, right? So there's a lot of ways you could look at this, but is a rapture coming here, folks, or is it? Is there going to be a flood, or is this a judgment? 7 years later, 7 years. Jonah was sent to Nineveh to preach to it. And there's even a sign in the heavens of Cetus. There's a Cetus sign, Cetus is the well, they call a whale that's swallowed Jonah, but actually a cetus is not a whale. That's what they call it, though. If you actually look at the text, it says cetus, which is a mythological sea monster that swallowed Jonah. So I think actually what it is
Mm.
probably a dinosaur, and they just don't want you to believe that dinosaurs existed back then, but because they were millions of years ago, not like thousands of years ago, right?
Look, man,
So
I see. I mean, I watched the Flintstones, so of course I know that dinosaurs existed
of
when
course, man.
men were
That's like
walking the earth.
that's evidence right there, man. Flintstones.
The cartoon Flintstones, you know. I
Right.
look, come on, man.
Yabba dabba doo. Right? What's his name? Fred Flintstone? Uh the guy from Roseanne played that guy. I don't remember what that guy's name. John something. I think his name's John something. I don't remember his name though.
Oh, wait a minute. John was
The one who
Goodman.
plays Yeah, John Goodman, that's who it is. John
Yeah,
Goodman.
yeah.
From the Flintstones. He played Fred Flintstone, I think.
Hey, oh, let me ask you this. Speaking of a pretty big guy that lost a lot of weight, John Goodman, right?
Yeah.
Um, all right. So, this past Sunday, you know, I've got this panel show
Uh-huh.
called Case Closed, and we were talking about Ozempic. Are you hip to Ozempic?
Is that like a new diet thing or something or what?
Okay, so there's Ozempic and there's Wegovy. Okay, and the active ingredients is the same, but Ozempic actually was a drug that was for type 2 diabetes. But they discovered that if you take it in larger doses, you'll lose weight. And actually
Right.
recently and this is according to what was it um a story I saw on 60 Minutes. um Oprah Winfrey recently stepped down from being the spokesperson for Weight Watchers because she was taking Ozempic. And that's actually how she was losing weight. So this last time she lost weight due to
Mm.
this drug. Um
She
and
would always
it's
puts it on and takes it off all the time. Like, doesn't she? She seems to go back and forth a lot. Oprah Winfrey.
yeah. And so pretty kind of interesting kind of thing. There's a woman on what was it? Uh Housewives of Utah or something or
Okay.
whatever. One of these women's blonde women. She was a kind of a full figure woman. She was, you know, being celebrated by the body positive folks and like as a spokesperson and stuff. But she just decided she was tired of being big, and so
Mhm.
she started using a Wegovy. Wegovy is it's the same active ingredient. It's just a larger dose. And the larger doses for losing weight. So she took it and she dropped like a ton of weight, and now she's being like teased by well, not teased. They're saying that she's like a fraud and stuff because, you know, you were saying you liked being big and blah blah blah, and then it turns out that she would prefer to be healthy. Um
Yeah.
but it's
Well, I
another one of
mean,
these sort of drugs. I just wondered if you knew anything about this.
is it? I think I might have heard of it. Is there any side effects or something? It sounds like there could be some side
Okay, so
effects.
perfect question. That's the question, and we talk about this on Case Closed, also. But the side effects are actually um, only experienced by the bad side effects are only experienced by about 1% of people, and then way less than that actually have complications unto death due to it. So
Oh, okay. Yeah.
on the one hand, yeah, you don't want to die. That's dying from stuff is not good.
It's like
But
those commercials where it has like, but side effects could be death, torture, like
right,
all this
right,
like
right.
50
Right, and
different
they
things.
say it real fast. It says it real fast so they can like slide it through.
Blood coming from every orifice.
That's right,
So you
right.
get it, like
Wait a minute. I was watching one of these and
your face might fall off.
wait a minute.
Stuff like that.
There was one of these, and it was I can't remember what it was. Uh, it was medication for depression or something,
Oh
and
man.
one of the side effects was depression. And I was like, dude, wait a minute here. I don't know if I want to take this if I'm risking.
You're already depressed and you want more depression.
Right.
It might make you
I,
more depressed.
it's crazy
Yeah.
stuff, man.
So, I mean, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. Of course, we're going to be talking about Freeman. You said you couldn't find anything on that, right? I actually have the article if you want me
Yeah,
to
yeah,
go.
show us the article.
See, this is old because I covered this a long time ago. Uh,
Mhm.
how old is it? It's 2015. I covered it way back in the old days. Morgan Freeman's step granddaughter killed in attempted exorcism. And apparently it was by her boyfriend who I guess, I don't know. He says he was trying to cast devils out of her. And she was 33 years old. And allegedly he was doing this at 3 a.m. And someone saw it too. George Hudako, who witnessed the 3 a.m. attack, like seriously, okay, like it's got all the numbers all over it. It doesn't sound right, you know what I mean? And so that happened to her back in 2015, and I covered that on YouTube a long time ago. But I thought that, of course, we got a recent one with Jim Carrey. This one I just thought was really interesting because of the fact that it was an exorcism that went wrong, and it just sounded so strange, you know. And nobody covered it back then either, hardly. I was like one of the few channels that even covered it back then, so like almost no one knew about it. It's just kind of
Hmm.
weird. But yeah, so she died from her boyfriend allegedly using, he's like, devil's got her. Like, I mean, seriously, I mean, it sounds like some crazy, scary movie or something. You know, perhaps the guy had some mind meld or something. Maybe something happened to him too. Kind of a Kanye moment or something. Who knows, right? Because some people wonder about Kanye as well. He seems to have something going on with his head as well. I don't know if you've seen of his wife's recent dressing habits. Have you seen that? My
I
goodness.
have not. Why don't you show us something?
Oh my goodness, dude. And it's actually getting popular too, by the way. Because remember, he was married to Kim Kardashian, and she was the one who kind of leads the way with what women should wear, right? And how they should act and things of that nature. Apparently, Kanye West is dressing his wife up in rather curious clothing, as you can see here. Uh, it looks like a trash bag almost, but it's like got no pants, as you can tell. And actually, I don't even want to show the other one
Oh
because it's even,
goodness, man.
dude, the other one's even worse. Did you see the recent John Cena thing where he was like pretty much in his birthday, of course, suit at the Oscars? That's about what she looks like in the other picture. I don't want to show it. I'm going to just kind of zoom past it here. Okay. It's pretty bad. But apparently, a lot of actresses are now following the trend and wearing no pants like this. This is the latest trend. There's actually a number of
Oh
them.
my goodness. We don't
Here's
need
another
any more
lady.
of this, man.
We got another one right here. We got a bunch of them. There's like 4 of them.
Dude, we don't need any of this, man. We already have to freaking endure freaking leggings all the time. And that isn't pants, by the way. Leggings is not pants. We already have to endure that. Now, not even that, not even the courtesy of leggings. Now it's just like stockings or what's going on, man? I don't know
I
what's
mean,
happening.
what's next? This? I mean, literally, we got John Cena running around like this here, and you see that? And I mean, that's how she looks in the other picture. I didn't show it. All she has is like this scarf covering here, and that's pretty much it. Other than that, she looks pretty much like John Cena.
Hmm.
Uh, and it's probably good that these actresses didn't pick that one up to wear to the premieres and stuff. Just like a scarf across here. It's like it. Like what? Yeah, so that's what's going on with that, which is kind of crazy. But um, yeah, there's like a lot of interesting things going on with the stars. Like it's just beyond ridiculous. By the way, there was an eclipse during the time of Jonah. So we have this eclipse going through Jonah, Jonah, Texas, Nineveh, Texas. It crosses over almost 2 Ninevehs where the two cross. There's a Rapture, Indiana, right there, And that's where the Ken Ham Noah's Ark is as well. And then on top of that, when Jonah went and preached in Nineveh, it
Mm.
was a 40-day warning, right? And what's 40 days after April 8th? Pentecost. Like, what in the world? Like, so the time is up at Pentecost, folks. Something's happening at Pentecost, May 19th. We'll see what happens. And of course, some are talking about solar flares and that when this eclipse goes over, they're going to somehow blame it on the sun and then, oh, now we got no power and blazes and it's solar flares or something. That comes back to that movie our former prez worked on. What is it? Leave the World, Behind, that movie.
Right.
And where they're talking about no power and stuff. So some are wondering if that's related to this whole thing. And, you know, they look at these stars. I've proven that look at these stars because I've shown a number of things where they labeled it literally like United Nations. They named a comet United Nations, literally. And
Mm.
it's being birthed through the Revelation 12 sign, which shows that these people at the top know all about what I'm talking about and they follow all of it. They're like obsessed about it. And they're trying to make it say what they want it to say. And so they know all about this stuff. And they're like trying to prepare for whatever it is. And so they're obsessed with it more so than the church is like, oh, whatever. They
They
don't
so
nothing,
they
you know.
too know the effectiveness of tinfoil.
Well, no, it says in the Bible there
They too look.
the stars are
They,
for signs of seasons, and they know that it's true. They know there's a God. Well, they tell you there isn't one, is what I'm saying. But yeah, there is the tinfoil factor of aliens and
that's right. That's right. That's right. They too
different.
understand that the
Yeah.
tinfoil is strong stuff. It's not just like, you know,
The
they
tinfoil strong with them, right? Like the force is strong with them. Kind of
that's
like
right.
Star
That's
Wars.
right. No, well, see,
Yeah.
and the naysayers, they try to use the tinfoil as a pejorative, but we know that the tinfoil is the key. All right.
You're probably going to see like King Charles or somebody in some underground thing wearing tinfoil. I'm sure you do. You know what I mean? Probably does happen. Who knows what else they're doing? But we don't want to discuss the other stuff. But you know.
That's funny. All
Well, I mean,
right.
you have Mark Zuckerberg covering his camera on his laptop. You know what I mean? And like, I mean, they show you that stuff. They do it too. They know all about it. They don't let their kids listen to the music that they put out now. They don't let their kids go to that stuff. You know what I mean? They know all about it, man. They know all about it, what it's for, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, like some of this music of what was I just heard something about the first or no the second lady. She just did something. My wife was telling me about it. What the heck did she do? I can't remember off the top of my head. I know she had that party at the White House, which was they had that sexy red music playing there.
You're talking about
Oh,
Kamala, right?
she just went to a one of those clinics, planned clinics. I'm not going to say the name. She went to one of those. She was the first one to ever go, I guess, or something. She went and visited or something like a day or two ago.
Kamala went to a Planned Parenthood,
Yeah, from
she
there.
went to like an abortion mill.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That's what my
Come
wife said.
on, man.
Let's see if it's true. I think that's what she told me. Yeah, here we are. 7 hours ago, she visited one.
Oh goodness gracious.
See, they're promoting family values and good stuff, right? Sexy red. It's like all good stuff, you know. Oh my goodness, dude! It's like watching that. It's like a flaming dumpster fire just going down the road, and you're just like, "What's going on? This is America." And you know that in a few days here we're going to have a solar eclipse, and God's trying to tell you something. Maybe you should turn around. I don't know. That's like a good idea. Let's go to an abortion. But, this is. I mean, you see what I mean? It's so ridiculous. The world we live in now. It's kind of a joke, but
That's
you
all
got some
right.
stuff you want to show? You got a few things?
And let's see here. I might have some old stuff. Let's see. Let's see if I
That's
have anything old. Let's see what this
yeah,
is.
that's the
No, I
Eternals
showed
movie
this
there,
stuff from
Marvel. Go
before.
ahead.
And this is like old stuff, man. Let's see if I got some. See what I have here. Let's see what this is. Oh yeah, yeah. We you don't want to see that. I don't want to see that either. Let's see what
What do
this
you
is.
got? What do you got, man?
Okay.
Oh, I
Okay.
got
Okay.
something big. By the way, before you show it, I'm going to tell you this is massive. I'm going to do a video on this soon here. There is a culture, a society that existed before the Sumerians, and it's well documented. They actually still exist today. Yet no experts, no authorities out there will even tell you even it exists. So there's like a bunch of stuff like this where, and this comes back, and I'll get into it later, but I want to talk about that later. It's more old. It's older than the Sumerians, and it talks about the Garden of Eden, and it has a book that's in great detail, totally correlates with the Bible and everything. It's just really kind of amazing, actually. It even talks about a Trinity back in the Old Testament times, like
Hmm.
5,500 BC type of time frame. So this is what I'm talking about. Like, I'm going to also present in that video how they found this dump site for books, ancient dump site. Like, just imagine a library throwing all their books out in some garbage heap or something from the ancient times, and we've only went through 1% of all the archaeological finds in this dump site. And some of our greatest finds are from that 1%, and it took them 10 years to get to 1%. So we have 99% of these archaeological finds that are all sitting in a dump that no one's went through, while they tell us there's no evidence for this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? And so it's like purposefully, like, they don't want certain things to be let out or you to know about certain things. Then they put these authority figures in high places saying, oh yeah, the Sumerians are the most ancient civilization, when there's actually older ones. They just don't want to tell you about it, or they selectively tell you what they want you to hear. So I'm going to do a video on that as well. It's kind of interesting, but go ahead, man.
Okay. So I know you probably I know you know about this because you wear your tinfoil hat between shows. So I know you've
Yeah.
tuned into this already. Um, um, but this is discussion about the TikTok ban, and this is Chisa Zed.
Oh,
I've looked at a bunch of his. I've actually looked at a bunch of his videos. I like Chisa. He's a Christian guy. He's married, recently married. Um, and I think he's a passport bro. I think he married a wife from abroad. Um, and anyhow, he's good dude. You know, solid content. You know, right down the middle. I mean, he covers a lot of. There's a lot of debauchery to cover. You know, so he's
oh
in the
yeah.
front. He's in the front line. But anyhow, let's see what he has to
Sure.
say about this. Wait a minute, hold up. There we go. Here we go.
Breaking news, the U.S. House has officially passed the bill that will lead to a TikTok ban if its owner, Chinese company ByteDance, doesn't decide to sell the platform. What it seems like here is they're trying to punk or strong arm ByteDance into selling the platform so it's no longer owned by any Chinese owners. What do you guys think of this TikTok ban thing? I think it's whatever at the end of the day, man. Do you care? That's the first thing I want to know. Do you care about TikTok getting banned? If I'm going to look at this objectively, even though I'd say a lot of my content and many other content creators are sourced from TikTok, and it has been beneficial in that way. The honest truth is, I can't sit here and say TikTok has been an overall net positive. I can see how because here's the thing. The thing is, if I go on TikTok and source content, that's okay. If I go on TikTok and serve coffee, I get shadow banned. I think I'm currently shadow banned on TikTok. I actually have a decent sized TikTok that I've been working on for a couple of years, but I don't know. I'm not too attached to this. I'd say anybody who is in competition with TikTok is probably for the banning of TikTok. Anybody who's against a lot of the very woke messaging over there in TikTok is probably against TikTok. If TikTok was to get banned, most of the TikTok creators will be forced to go on platforms like YouTube and Instagram and X. So I don't see anybody who'd really stand up for TikTok here. My prediction is that they're probably going to sell the app. I don't think TikTok will get banned. I'm going to be very honest with you. Let's check out some of these comments here. The people have Safe's comment here says TikTok literally teaches you so much information.
Okay, so what do you think of what he's saying? What do you think of what he's saying?
Well, there's one thing I heard that was kind of curious. Could this be like a Trojan horse for banning other things in the future? Where
yes,
like,
that was exactly what I was about to say. Matter of fact, I was watching CGA, Coach Greg Adams, and this is what he was saying, and he covered this morning, and he was saying, normies think it's going to be a good thing that they ban TikTok because, TikTok's a cesspool and it's a bunch of gross stuff on there or whatever, and it's a security issue and all like that. But they don't realize that the way that they wrote that legislation was so that they could go in and just cancel anything they want to, just ban anything that they want to. That they have the structure set up that all it takes is a small tweak, and then now you can just go after anything you want to.
Right. Because that's what you're starting to see that in other countries like Canada and some places in Europe where they're like trying to, control the internet more and stuff like that. And it basically they claim it's because we want it to be, friendly to whatever, and they're actually just using it for other means. And, they want to ban stuff they don't like, probably anti-GOV stuff and anti whatever they want to promote stuff, which could be anything, could be climate change, could be whatever, like you have like Taylor Swift flying around in jets. People are following her jets trails. Like you can actually get that information publicly online, 16-mile flight to go to a restaurant in a jet, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. And then she claims that she's for protecting and saving the planet. So it's just really funny how they like try to promote all these people. And then at the same time, they're like trying to tell you, oh, climate change is serious, but then they're like flying around in jets while they're telling you that and stuff. It's so stupid. I don't think it, and it's really interesting because like in New York, they had a law called Local Law 97 passed where they actually tax you for breathing. And people don't know this yet. So like we've made jokes in the past about being taxed for breathing. Well, this one is clever because it's not your breathing, it's your exhaling. You exhale CO2, and you're not the one that's taxed directly, but rather your landlord is fined for CO2 emissions in his building. And you're breathing out CO2, so you're polluting the planet by breathing out. And this is the same ridiculous stuff you see over in the Netherlands and Europe, where they say cows are farting too much and they breathe too much. We need to get rid of all the cows. And that's why you had all those farmers going into the city with their farming equipment and shooting manure all over the government buildings because they're like, this is retarded, which is it's kind of funny, dude, shooting manure all over the government buildings. But all because they claim the manure is causing too much toxic fumes and it's going to destroy the planet while they fly around in their stupid jets telling you this. It's so stupid. It's such a ruse. It's such a fake thing, but at any rate, so then you go ahead.
Well, I've been talking about Agenda 21. Last couple of weeks, I've mentioned it a few times, and that's really what animates all of this. That's what animates
it's money.
Yeah, well, we'll check it out. Let me pull this up because they have the four pillars, the 4 pillars, and you can clearly see how.
And it's a way to make you not be able to afford anything too. Make it so you can't buy beef. Make it so you can't buy a car or a house, and it's part of and the inflation's also part of it as well, where they print money. It's all about making it so you can't own anything. You'll own, of course, nothing type of thing. Yeah, man.
All right, so there's 4 sections of Agenda 21, and remember this agenda is from so it's 31 years. We're 31 years in. April 23rd, 1992. So the year before we graduated from high school is when this Agenda 21 came out. And so there's the four sections. The first section, so section 1, social and economic dimensions, is directed toward combating poverty, especially in developed countries, changing consumption patterns, promoting health, achieving a more sustainable population. There it is, right there, and sustainable settlement in decision making. Okay, so you see, there's your population, sustainable population. That's how they phrase that, and not all of the stuff that they, of course, want to do are what I'd say patently, evil or bad. But you have to have that stuff in there if you could, in order to make it look legitimate, right? So there's
Right. They're trying to sell it to you or make you feel like it makes sense or something.
right. So section 1 is where you find population control. Section 2, conservation and management of resources for development includes atmospheric protection. There's climate. There's your climate change, right? Combating deforestation, protecting fragile environments, conservation of biological diversity.
This
right?
is all BS. By the way, this is all complete BS because they are doing literally the opposite of what it says there. They're
Yep.
actually proposing now to cut down forests and bury them. This is what the computer guy, Bill, the computer guy, has been
Bill
doing.
Nye.
No, the other one, the one at Microsoft guy.
I'm sorry. You said
He
the
was
computer
literally-
guy, and I heard you say the science guy. So
well,
okay,
I didn't want to
got
say
you.
it, but I mean,
Yeah, I
he literally is having forests cut down and then they bury it. This is one of their proposed plans to save the environment, is basically get rid of trees. And then, of course, they
Mhm.
wanted to dim the sun, which literally, dude, all you have to do is look at the NASA data from the 1980s versus, I think it was 2013 or something. It showed that when you had more CO2, you have more plant life. When you have more plant life, you have lower temperatures, according to the actual scientific data. And what they've been telling us for the last 30 years is the exact opposite. They say the more CO2, it causes greenhouse gases, which makes the temperature go up, global warming.
Mm.
But now the data proves them wrong. It completely proves them wrong. And so CO2 is actually a good thing. It actually makes more plants, which makes the earth cool more. And that's what the actual scientific data says, but they want you to believe the opposite. So now they don't call it global warming. Now they call it climate change. And
Yeah.
then they more and more ridiculous stuff now. And if you want to know God's opinion on this, you remember the Georgia, guide stones? Remember that whole thing?
Mm.
It said on there some of the stuff, and it got struck. Some say it got struck by lightning. So if it did get struck by lightning, that should tell you what he thinks of it. You know what I mean?
So here's the thing, and going back to the population control. So that's abortion, that's birth control, that's
everything.
all of that stuff.
It's
Okay,
more than
that's
that,
the
dude.
day after pill, huh?
No, it's the culture, man. It's am I a guy? Am I a girl? I don't know what I
Right,
am.
right,
And,
right. That's right. It's the LGBT
uh,
thing. That's right.
yeah, everything.
It's all of
man.
that. All of that stuff is right there. And
Well, wait
and I
till
was
you're
saying,
40 to get married for women, and don't have kids, and your career's
yep,
more important.
that's all of that. See,
everything.
the thing is, folks believe that the government and certain folks are advocating for them and trying to help them, but actually what they're doing is they're using you because they have this Agenda 21. They really want the Agenda 21, and they're using you as to occupy one of the sections of this agenda. Let me read the rest of this. So, biological diversity, control of pollution, and the management of biotechnology and radioactive waste. Now, and like I said, obviously you should take care of the earth. You should do what you can do not to pollute, not to radioactive waste. All that stuff is good. But this idea that the earth is overpopulated is hogwash. If we have 8 billion people, we easily could fit 8 billion more. Easily 8 billion more.
They also said there that they want more biodiversity, right? And actually, if you look at the latest data, in the national parks, the wildlife is down like half, like almost 50%. Like the populations of various wildlife are down. We have the bugs and the mosquitoes are all pretty much gone. Back in the 90s, your car would be caked in bugs. You don't see that ever happen anymore. In most places, you don't see anything like that. And also, I wanted to show this picture real quick. It kind of relates to this on my screen. If you can show
Well,
it.
here, let me read the last sections here, and then
Okay.
I'll switch over. So
No, it's first.
section 3.
Yeah. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So section 3, strengthening the role of major groups, includes the roles of children and youth, women, NGOs, local authorities, business and industry, and workers, and strengthening the role of indigenous peoples, their communities, and farmers. I mean, a lot of that is basically woke. That's sort of woke agendas, DEI and the like, and we know that stuff is never that, that stuff ends up hurting folks more than it helps. I mean, certain groups that get propped up, they get some help, some temporary help, but the I always say that DEI, inclusion, is code for screw the black guy.
Well, I was thinking about the American Indians, like the richest American Indian tribe
Yeah.
refused money from the government, and they made all their money through, I think it was banking and like casinos and stuff like that. But like all the other ones that took money from the government, like they're doing really terrible. So, I mean,
Okay,
that's kind of what you're talking about too, a little bit.
here's the last section, and then I'll switch over for you. So section 4, means of implementation includes science, technology transfer, education, international institutions, and financial mechanisms. So anyhow, so those are your four sections of Agenda 21. Here we go. Let's switch over for you.
It's just a joke one. It says we're from the government and we're here to help, and it shows like was that a cheetah and a little Bambi?
Right.
That's basically
Oh
it,
yeah,
man.
we're friends. We're good.
We're gonna help you out, man. It's kind of like how they said they're gonna tax you during World War II. We're gonna tax you for a limited time, and then we're gonna stop taxes. As you can see, that's never stopped. They also took the dollar off the gold standard for a limited time, and we're still off the gold standard, and now the dollar's worth nothing. Now you can't. It's $25 to get a burger and fries and a drink now at Five Guys and Five Guys. You know what I mean? And
Oh yeah, Five Guys burgers and fries. Yeah,
yeah,
there's that's interesting. I did a thing on McDonald's. So it wasn't when did I do this? It wasn't last night. It was a week ago last night on Getting Ish Done with Ike and Dr. Thunder. And we were talking about McDonald's and about how there's like this huge, increase in the cost of the food. And and now basically, the sort of populations that used to go to McDonald's for the most part, they can't afford McDonald's now.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So, and then they were talking about in this particular video we were reviewing, this guy was talking about how McDonald's doesn't care because McDonald's is not a restaurant. The corporation's not a restaurant. It is a I'm sorry, what do you call it? It's a real estate company.
Oh yeah,
real estate.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, what they do is they rent the ability. So they own all of the land that the McDonald's are on.
Right. But the franchise is owned by people. Right. That makes sense.
Right, but the actual building is owned by the people, but
Right.
they license the ability to use it from the company, and those licensing fees, those are not going down. So those are staying up high. So McDonald's Corporation still gets their money, even though
Right.
the burgers are going sky high. When we were in high school, what was it, 90? I can't remember the date exactly. It was 90. I think it was 92. 92 or 93. A Big Mac combo was $2.99.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. And then I had people in the comment section of my video saying back in the 1973, you could buy 2 burgers, a fry, and a drink for under $1. And there was even one guy that said like 1973 or something or 2. There was one restaurant where like at the end of the day, right before they're going to throw away all the burgers, they would have a discount on them, and he said you could buy 10 burgers for $1.
Yeah.
You remember that one place we used to go, Hot and Now? Hot and Now? How much
Oh,
was it
yeah,
there?
man.
That was cheap. That was cheap. That was
Oh,
really cheap
yeah,
there,
man.
right?
39-cent burgers, bruh. You could get a bag of 10 hamburgers for $3.90, bruh.
I remember the
Let's
wrestling team would go
go.
through there. Yeah, they were like, there's a wrestling team would have competitions. Who could eat the most burgers? Who could eat the most pizza? And you did that too, didn't you? A little bit, like you were trying to do a record there.
Dude, I don't know if I was trying to beat a record, but I do know that I would go to the gym and then I go to Hot Now and get a 10 Hot Now burgers. And I get that anymore, in water.
You can't do that anymore, that's for sure.
Nope.
You do that now, I'm gonna look like a 400-pounder.
And I remember when Hot Now used to have this mushroom Swiss hamburger, man. And it was a quarter pounder, and that joint was $1. So we get like 4 of them joints.
Now it's probably like $3.99 for a burger there or something.
Oh no! Well, it's out of business now. No, there's no more Hot Now. They're out now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard of one I never heard of before called Arctic Circle. Apparently, it's only exists in like Utah or something, and someone was talking about that place. I was like, "What? There's Arctic Circle? That's like a restaurant too." But all right, I'll probably talk about something else. I'm sure people are done hearing about burgers and stuff. But
do you want to hear? Do you want to hear any more of this video about the TikTok thing?
Yeah,
TikTok
go ahead, man.
All right,
yeah, let's go over there.
Let's see here. All right, here we go. Let's play a little more.
That's why they want it gone. You know, I'll say when it comes to breaking news, it is highly impressive at the rate that TikTok can release like top stories and actually show you what actually happened. It's like the place to go. You see some crazy shit happen, you record it, you upload it on TikTok. They're going to see it before any other platform, before any news channel, because they got to get on there and approve and figure out how they're going to deliver their information so it's palatable to their audience, etc., and make sure they don't offend anybody. And online platforms, even like the Spiritual Word or the Shade Room, they get their videos and content and news a lot of the times from TikTok as well. Somebody else who says banning TikTok, but not guns in the hands of our youth. Another person who says, any update on student loans? Laugh out loud because we have bigger fish to fry. Another person who says, so ban TikTok, but don't ban Twitter/X with all the free adult content on there. It is kind of wild, man. I was blown away when I stumbled on a particular TikToker's Twitter page and found out that they did corn. And what I saw on there, I couldn't believe. Bro, there was nothing blurred out. Everything was out in the open.
Hey, bro, I wanted to say something.
I know it's always been that way. I'm not that.
Go ahead.
I'm thinking they want to ban Twitter and TikTok because they're probably the best platforms for what's going to happen at the end of this year. Because I think it always seems to come back to that. If you haven't noticed, like it always comes back to, because you're going to have tons of videos making fun of our current president, right? That would be on TikTok and then on Twitter. And then you also get, like he said, you get quick news on these two sites. Very quick. It might not be accurate. It may be accurate, may not be accurate. You also get a lot of joke stuff. And you do got a lot of other things, like you said, corn or whatever. But and I mean, Elon could easily block that stuff if he wanted to. He could block it or make it so you have to like click a button or something to see it or something like that. I thought that's what they already had to do. I thought they had it where like it was blocked until you. I guess not. Maybe it's not like that anymore. I don't know. I thought it was like where it was blocked or something on Twitter. At any rate, the point is though, I think they want to get rid of those too because of what's coming up at the end of this year, where you have to choose the next prez. I don't think it would help our current prez anyways because he's doing so terrible. I don't think there's any way he can win unless they like, CHEAT, which of course they never would do that. They didn't do it back in 2020 either. But yeah,
that's right. It was totally on the up and up. It's totally fair.
active on Twitter up until recently. I've been uploading shorts there consistently. Follow me on Facebook. I'm on there too. Follow me on Rumble. We're on there too. Follow me on Instagram. On there too. But I'm just shocked at all the exposing and nudity that's allowed on X. Another comment here says, so nothing on better gun laws, immigration laws. Here's somebody else who says, the government be worried about all the wrong shit. For real. Another person here says, I seen a grown man say he learned more from TikTok than he did at school, and that's effed up. Another comment says, remember everything in America.
That's just how good our schools are now, man.
Yeah, it's real good. What is it? TikTok you
is about money. If the U.S. cannot benefit from it financially, they will cancel it expeditiously. I also think there's a credible threat of security. When you hear about a place like China and how they have cameras on every corner and just how much they keep track of every single thing that every person does, I think there's a credible threat there to how much can you really trust that they're not looking into your private life or have access to your phones and all types of shit.
What about America? What about America, dude? Like,
right,
I just thought about
this. Like America's not doing all of that stuff.
Yeah, like, okay. Yeah, there are like potential enemy or something, right? And then they could have all this data on me. But like, what about my own country and all the data they have on me currently? You know, like, what the heck, dude? I mean, the same thing. I mean, honestly, I feel like it's the same thing these days. Like, I feel like if you're just a person with a voice, they don't like that. They want you to say whatever they want you to say.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean?
That's what it is now. And even these academic institutions, which their mission is to be bastions of free thought and where you get folks from different disciplines and different worldviews and they get together and maybe they disagree and maybe they vehemently disagree, but they can have a conversation and new ideas are exchanged and new ideas are created because people are not afraid to actually have an open conversation. That's not what's happening. That is not what's happening. What's happening is you basically don't say anything unless it's on this really restricted list of things. You can talk about that stuff. Don't talk about anything except for that stuff, and it better be the position that we told you.
It's like that book, 84, 19, of course, 84, where basically they say freedom means slavery, slavery means freedom, and this, that, and it's like everything's the opposite of what it means, Mm-hmm. So like say, we're for democracy and freedom, but then they're like literally for the exact opposite, right? So yeah, it's kind of true these days. Orwellian, right? That's how they say it. Orwellian.
Right.
Oh yeah, but people know this already, so they don't ever even talk about it anymore because it's so well known. But
all right, so let's get back to some of these dark secrets. You got some dark secrets for us?
Oh, I have to still study this, but apparently, so I did a live stream with Zen Garcia. He's an American Indian guy. He does a lot of studies in the Apocrypha and stuff. And he found out about this certain society of people, Thracian, and apparently they're older than the Sumerians, and they have books that are thousands of years older than like Genesis that talk about the same thing as Genesis. And you even see this in China. Like in ancient China, they have Shangdi, which is this mysterious first god of China. It was a border god, just like you see with like the Israelites and stuff. And Shangdi, they have like a text that reads just like Genesis. In the beginning is the exact same thing. So there's like these books a lot of people are completely unaware of. Like I said, but our history, the official historians and the professional historians, they never talk about this stuff. Like they'll cite all these famous historians like Tacitus, Flavius Josephus, but they'll only tell you what they want you to hear. They won't tell you all the other stuff that they wrote. Like they'll write about dragons or write about this, that, and the other, like Alexander the Great. saw dragons, Marco Polo, et cetera, et cetera. And it's just so weird. So our modern historians, they basically cherry pick what they want you to know, and they don't tell you any of the other stuff. And the other stuff is extremely important. And I feel like this is very common with a lot of topics. I showed you a video after our last live stream. I didn't even watch it fully, but it shows like this map, medieval map, and it actually shows castles and huge cities in Africa, and even more so in China. Like they had massive cities in China, and then you go over to Rome, and it had hardly anything. And what's so funny about it is they tell us in the history books like Rome was the center of all civilization, when in reality it's not the case. During that time frame, it was China had the most, and it was like the Scythian Empire, which they call Tatiria and stuff like that. But and then Africa had way more than Rome. If you can imagine it, Africa had all these huge cities, castles, and everything. And there's even in India, I'm trying to remember the city. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they had buildings that looked just like the buildings you see in the Vatican, in buildings you see at the World Fairs in early America, that looked nothing like Indian buildings. They weren't temples. They looked like they had the pillars. You know what I mean? Like just like the Capitol building. They looked just like that.
Oh, right.
Or they were in India. There's all and then they had some catastrophe and all of them were destroyed. And this is like the case in all these different places. Like they'll have a fire and it destroys all these buildings. How do you destroy stone with fire? It doesn't even make sense. So like they literally like carpet bomb these places and just destroy all these buildings. And then they just tell you that they never tell you about that history, and they just destroy the history, just erase it from the map, So I'm thinking that's probably what happened with all these castles that were in Africa, castles that were in China. There's the biggest star fort was in China, and it had allegedly 10,000 bridges in the star fort. That's how big it was. Marco Polo visited it, and he said that it should be preserved because it was such a beautiful city. But of course, it doesn't exist anymore. It's gone. What happened to it? Who destroyed it? Right? It's just gone. No one knows where it is. But it's just so weird, whoever's the victor writes history, right? So they just completely erase this history, and you don't even know it existed. No. So, at any rate.
Yeah, what is that saying? The winners write the history.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
But
let's see here. Let's see if he has any more to say. And then let's
okay.
Let's see where to go. Okay, here we go.
Again, guys, coffee mugs coming back soon. If I'm going to be honest with you, when it came to the coffee mugs.
Okay. He's just promoting some stuff now. All right. So that's that.
Yeah. Yeah. Here, one sec here. That's my wife.
Yeah. So let me ask you, do you so with this stuff going on with Jim Carey? What?
Oh, I didn't even show that, did I? Yeah, maybe I should.
So what do we got?
Yeah, here we go. This is something. This was tail end of last year. What happened was out of my control. Jim Carrey claims actor was possessed by a ghost of late comedian for 4 months, made him look like a blank hole. Okay. So he of course he was in this movie called Man on the Moon, and I think he was playing the part of a certain comedian. The comedian's name is Andy Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman, yeah.
And he claims that he was possessed by his spirit for 4 months.
Yeah, and, just for frame of reference, Andy Kaufman was the weirdo that was on Taxi. He was the really quirky, weird guy on Taxi.
Right. You mean the one with the funny hair? Or no, was he?
That's right. That's right.
It's the same guy who's on Seinfeld. Is it the same guy on Seinfeld?
No, not that guy. That's a different guy.
Andy Kaufman. Okay, I'm thinking of a different guy. All right. I hadn't watched Taxi. I remember Danny DeVito was on Taxi. I don't even remember. That was so long ago. Oh, he does kind of look like the guy. He does actually look a little bit like the guy from Seinfeld, sort of, but he had his hair all messed up too in Taxi, I guess. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So allegedly he was possessed by his spirit, which I doubt. If anything, it would probably be something devilish, not Andy Kaufman himself. if he was possessed by something, obviously. And so it makes you wonder, they call it method acting. Some claim that something takes them over while they're acting, right? We've heard various actors and actresses talk about this. So it makes you wonder if he was actually literally possessed. And of course, recently Jim Carrey came out talking about faith more. So I don't know if you knew about that. I think he also came out recently talking about faith and stuff. I forgot. I had an article on that.
Yeah, prior to that, he was talking about depression. I mean, he was like pretty bad. He was
Yeah.
like debilitating depression. Like,
Yeah, recently he did some video. It was like a week or two ago, and he was talking about something that had to do with faith. Like,
no.
and then also you had Wendy Williams recently. They were saying was disappeared, and there was some really weird stuff surrounding her too. I covered it on a video over my channel, but Wendy Williams, she did an interview right before she had her issues. She has some autoimmune condition or something. She has something wrong with her mind, like her brain. I can't remember what it's called. But
early onset dementia. I thought it
yes,
was.
they had a name for it, but it's something like that. Yeah. And right around the time she did this interview of a guy, I'm trying to remember the guy. I don't even have it open right now. He's a gay guy. I can't remember his name. He's married to some dude, and he's a black guy. And she asked him, why? How are you able to look so young? And he made allegedly a joke, talking about eating or drinking, blood or something like that. And he was talking about of young ones. You know what I mean? And and then it was really weird because right after that, that's when Wendy Williams started having problems and lost her show and all this kind of stuff. And of course, this guy and Mariah Carey were like attacking her over it too, and had a video where they're attacking her, which I thought was kind of weird. She like hangs out with him, apparently, this gay dude. I can't remember his name though. I did a video on it, but it just seemed really weird to me that she all of a sudden had this dementia problem shortly after that. So and then she lost her show, but maybe she had tapped into some stuff, had some stuff on her show. Maybe she shouldn't have had error or something. I don't know. Or who knows, man.
Hey, so there's an article in on the Grio, understanding front temporal dementia, which disproportionately affects Black people, through Wendy Williams' diagnosis.
Oh, really?
So that's what she was diagnosed with: front temporal dementia. So front temporal dementia's grip on the Black community. Frontemporal dementia, FTD, disproportionately affects the Black community compared to others, and reasons remain unclear. Although research on FTD in Black populations has grown significantly over the past 2 decades, the disease's complex nature makes it challenging to pinpoint a single definitive cause. Interesting.
Huh. I'm wondering if it's something. If you take something, it causes it to happen. Like there's certain things that could be taken that may cause it. Like for instance,
you're talking
like,
about an X factor. You're talking about an X factor, like, or something that's like a
like an antibiotic. Maybe you could even do it because there's certain antibiotics that can actually attack
Right.
your nervous system, and it could attack your brain. Maybe.
Right.
I don't know. I'm just guessing, but I mean, we have a lot of stuff around us that exists today that didn't exist in the past, and it's probably a result of things we eat or take. That like Alzheimer's and all these things didn't really exist as much back in the ancient past because perhaps they didn't have some of the modern stuff we have today that causes it, and of course we don't know what that is, right? Like something you take or eat or whatever that could cause these things. But at any rate, man.
All right.
That's pretty
Well,
good.
I mean, I think we dumped a load of tinfoil hat goodies.
Yeah.
So folks should be happy until next week. 11. Let's see here. When are we loading up? I don't know. It's probably going to be 10:30 next week. But somewhere between 10 and 11, somewhere in there is when we go live on Thursdays. Two Dads React. Please like the video on the way out, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Become a channel member where you'll get access to all archive videos, and support independent media. Support independent media. And I think that's going to be our show.
Yeah, it's good.
Peace out.
See you guys.
All right, now.
Have a good night.